Hey everybody, Shelly here, and today I've got for you a tutorial on this eye look, which is similar to the one I was wearing in my recent old school drugstore haul. If you missed that, I will link it down below. And a bunch of you guys requested a tutorial on how I did that look, so I've recreated the same procedure. I'm using slightly different colors this time around. I went for a purple scheme that time, and today I went more pinkish reddish, but I was just hoping to show that you can actually do this eye look with any color scheme that you want. It's really just a matter of selecting the right tones of color, the right shades, the right depth in your colors, and you can just use this same technique. So that's what I'm going to do. I will list all of the products that I'm using down below for this eye look, and without further ado, let's get started. Here we go. First up, say hello to my little friend. It gets warmer outside, and I get a zit under my glasses nose pad. Awesome! So, let's get started. I have already primed my lids with the MAC paint pot in Painterly. You can use any primer that you like. I like this one because it kind of hides some of the blood vessels that I got going on, discoloration, stuff like that. And next, I'm going to prep. And you can see I put some tape on this side. You could use shadow shields. You don't even need to do this step, but whenever I go in heavy on the dark on that outside corner, I do like to use tape. It just kind of keeps things a little cleaner. You can also clean up if you want that nice defined line and just use a makeup wipe afterward. I usually am going to have to do that anyway, so let me show you why. So I start out with a piece of tape, and I de-sticky it by putting it on the back of my hand a couple of times. You don't want it too unsticky, because if it doesn't stick well, your shadow is going to seep underneath it. But if it's too sticky, you're going to be pulling on your skin, and I don't want any more wrinkles. So once your tape's on, you're ready to rock. Now, I am essentially going to be using 6, possibly 7 shades. I know that gets cumbersome, but the trick to this really is layering up color and getting transitions between colors. So the first is just any flesh tone color. This is Crème Brulee by Wet n Wild. I use this to set my eye primer, so that's like a functional sort of utilitarian color. And then for the look itself, I'm going to use some Makeup Geek eyeshadows. And these shadows, I've got a black. You can use any black you want, really. What you're really going for here is a soft transition shade, something same color family, slightly darker, for a moving into the crease. And then whatever your color family for the lid is going to be, I'm going pinks this time. I've gone pink and purple for looks like these. And so you want a crease color that's in that family. This is Cupcake by Makeup Geek. And then something a little bit darker in that color family for the outer third. This is Bitten by Makeup Geek. And then the star of the show on the lid is, in this case, I'm going to do Whimsical by Makeup Geek. So those are the shades I'm going in with, but this is really kind of a technique video as well, because this approach to laying out your shadows works really well with all different color schemes. You really don't have to follow this color scheme. If you follow this sort of light and dark scheme, it'll work out pretty well. So let's start with priming our lids. Next, we're going to go in with our high transition shade. I'm going to use my Wayne Goss number 3 brush. What you really want is a fluffy crease brush. So the Wet n Wild fluffy crease brush would work well in this situation, or you could use, this is an M504 by Morphe. Do you see what we're going for? We're looking for fluff. We're looking for pretty soft. We don't want a whole lot of density going on with this brush. You're looking for something that can blur out colors. So this is where we're going to go in with the lightest shade that we've got. I'm going to go in with Crème Brulee from Makeup Geek, and we're going to use this as transition. Now, I'm gonna say transition, but what I really mean is high transition, because this is gonna go slightly above my crease, basically on my hood of my eye, because I have pretty hooded lids, and if I want the color to show while my eyes are open looking straight forward, my color has to come higher than what little bit of my lid you can actually see with my eyes open. So that is what we have to do. So I am going slightly above my crease with this. Not all the way to my brow, but I do have a decent amount of space between my crease and my brow, so I'm kind of just making sure it's up on that hood above the crease, but not all the way to my brow. Next, I'm going to go in with a tapered crease brush. This is a Wayne Goss 04 brush, very similar to the last brush we used, tapered end, very soft, very flexible. A substitute for this, the Morphe M330 would be a similar choice. Again, we want something with lots of flexibility here, a little bit of tapered point, but smaller than the brush that we used for that transition color, because we're going to go a little bit lower and a little deeper into the crease with this. So I am going to go in with Cupcake on this crease brush and do the same thing we just did, but just a little bit lower. So we're definitely targeting in the crease with this, and just the smallest bit of bringing it up onto, if you've got hooded eyes, up onto the hood. If you don't have hooded eyes, then just starting to get above the crease, just the littlest bit. Don't go as high as you went with the Crème Brulee. Next, we're going to darken that crease just a bit more with Makeup Geek's Mocha, and for that, I'm going to use my Sigma E25. This is also a blending brush. It's a little bit more firm, a little bit more dense, and a little less give to the brushes. There are lots of dupes for the shape of this brush. This is just one I got off of eBay in some kit that I got. You're just looking for something a little bit more firm than the previous brush, but still a blending brush. So let's go in with Mocha. And you want to make sure at this point, now that we're starting to darken things up a bit, you want to make sure that you're going all the way to your tape at the outer edge, because that is where we're going to have a nice dark line, a nice dark sort of dramatic end to this look. It'll lift the eye really nicely. Taking this all the way half moon to the inner corner of the eye. I'm going to stick with the same brush and go in with Makeup Geek's Bitten, and we're going to focus this on the outer third of the eye. Once you've got the outer third, just sort of bring what's left into just the outer third of the crease as well. So now if you are really looking for some lift, or like me, you've got a lot of sort of puff to your hooded lids, this is where I'm going to take Bitten and I'm going to have an imaginary line from the center of my eye, if I can do this while I'm looking, the center of my eye to that edge, that top corner where the color ends. And I kind of want, when I'm looking straight ahead, for that to be a straight line all the way across. So I'm going to be taking my Bitten and sort of looking straight ahead and just filling in that sort of triangle. Now, if you're happy with the depth of color that you've got here, stop right there. But if you want to go a little bit more dramatic, get that black out. You only need the tiniest bit. I'm going to use my Makeup Geek Outer V brush, and I really don't have a substitute for this brush. I guess a sort of dense pencil brush would be the best substitute, but this is a little bit bigger than a typical pencil brush and not as pointy, and it is just perfect for the Outer V. I just don't have a substitute to recommend. I say go get this one. So I've got the tiniest bit of black, and I'm just going to darken up the very outer V, and don't take it up onto your hood. Stop at the crease and just darken it just a little bit. Get back a little of the red with Bitten to blend that out. I'm going to take that Crème Brulee Wet n Wild that we started with, and on the most generic brush, I love it for my brow highlight. I don't know where it came from. I think I got it from CVS. I'm just going to lighten up right under the arch of my brow. Here comes the fun part. We are going to do a half cut crease. Now if you've got hooded lids like I do, you are not going to get the same effect from a cut crease that all of the rest of the world seems to get, and that's fine. We don't have to look like everybody else. So it does give a nice effect though, and I really like doing this technique. So any concealer will work. I've got the Wet n Wild Come Correct, and any sort of really firm, small brush will work. This is a Wet n Wild angled liner brush, I believe. And yeah, they don't all have names, but it's just a tiny little liner brush. And you're gonna use the smallest amount of concealer. And what we wanna do is we want to draw a line starting from the inner corner up to about halfway above your pupil across your eye. And if you've got hooded lids, you're going to have to go above your crease, because otherwise it's gonna get tucked into the crease and you won't see it. So with that brush, here we go. I'm gonna set that concealer with Crème Brulee from Wet n Wild. And now just make sure you don't go over the concealer. Don't go higher than the concealer. Now with any small flat shadow brush, I'm gonna use a Real Techniques small shadow brush. We are going to go in with our duochrome shade. I'm using Whimsical by Makeup Geek, and we're going to apply that where we put the concealer and on our lid. Now, if you want something more dramatic, you can wet your brush. I'm just going to put this on dry, but spraying your brush first with a little Fix Plus or setting spray or something like that makes this really dramatic. If you feel like you need a little bit more precision on that inner part of the eye, you can go in with a pencil brush. This is a crown brush I think I got in my BoxyCharm, and that can make it a little bit easier to get this inner corner part. And if you want a little more dramatic transition there, go just above with that Cupcake pink, right on the edge there. You could also do this with Mocha if you want less pink going on. Now I'm just gonna work on blending with Bitten in my corner here to blend out the edge where we put our duochrome. Now we'll finish the lower lash line once we've got our face on. It's time to take the tape off and see what we've got. See how I've got the deep crease, and when I look ahead, it sort of settles. That's all right. I'm gonna use a makeup wipe to clean it up to my satisfaction. So now with my eyes relaxed, I'm just gonna take a wipe and get that little bit that likes to look strange. I'm gonna put the rest of my face on and I'll be right back. Okay, let's finish these eyes. I am going to do a slight wing, and for that I'm going to use the Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Lash Booster Eye something or other, whatever, in Ultra Black, the one that is a total dupe for the Kat Von D Trooper liner. And now with this look being so lifted, if you've got deeply hooded lids like I do, you're not gonna be able to do a traditional wing with the height so high, the way this is angled upward. So I'm gonna do more of a wedge to sort of maintain this uplifted look, but give a little bit of the drama that you would get with a winged liner. Use the line as a guide from your shadow. You could do this with the tape still on, but I like to do it afterward because I think that it ends up being a little easier to navigate the crease at the corner of my eye. Now, if you've got creases like me, when you look straight ahead, you're gonna lose the bottom of that wedge. And if you want to, you can, with your eyes open, draw it in. It's going to make it a lot more bold on the outer corner, but with a look like this, I think it's fine. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take the tiniest bit of black on a small liner brush. This is a Wayne Gosso 8, but any small liner brush will do. just the tiniest bit on the outermost corner, connect this to my eye, the wing that's going on, right up against the lower lash line. Maybe a third of the way in, that's it. And with a slightly larger one, this is the Wayne Gossel 5. Any soft pencil blending brush will do. I'm gonna go in with Bitten. Now, if you've got wide set eyes, you can take this all the way in. If you've got closer set eyes and you wanna make them look a little farther apart, you can stop. I'm going about halfway. I think my eyes are just kind of the usual. They're not close or far away. And then to finish the inner, same brush, I just wiped it off. I'm gonna use the Makeup Geek Crème Brulee and take it to the center, or I mean the inner corner. And with a slightly fluffier pencil brush, I'm gonna use Crème Brulee to sort of blend this out. Mascara and lashes, I will be right back. And last but not least, I'm gonna go back in with Makeup Geek Whimsical and my pinky and put a little bit on my inner corner. For lashes, I use the Salon Perfect. These are the number 615. Yes, and lip is another Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Give Me Mocha. And this is the finished eye look. Let me show you guys up close and then I'll zoom back out. There you have it. The look is complete. I hope you found this helpful. If so, give me a thumbs up below. Let me know you would like to see some more tutorials on these eye looks. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks a lot, you guys, for coming by and hanging out and geeking out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.